Technology Tuesday, back in action again. That's right, folks. You know what time it is. It's Technology Tuesday at 2 with your man, Greg Russell, right? Greg Russell, the technologist. And I'm just here, taking up some space because Greg is the man with the plan. But I'm Jerry Franklin Poe, back at you again. And we are here because we want to help as many people as possible when it comes to getting the right tech tools in their business, right? Tech tools. I know it's like a tongue tweet. What do they call it?
Tongue twister
thing, right? But reality is, folks, our mission and our whole purpose for doing these lives every week at 2 o'clock on Tuesday is to provide practical knowledge and practical applications to give you practical solutions. And today is a very specific topic we want to talk about that I know in the past I've had issues with, because in my mind, sometimes I have these roadblocks as to how difficult stuff can be. And because I've been able to build a relationship with Greg and work with Greg over the years, he's been able to help me see how simple this stuff that in my mind thought was difficult. Like I thought it'd be so much work to build this page and so much work to set up this form and so much work to build this sequence or funnel. And Greg's like, no, man, all you gotta do is just put this here, put this here. So we want to share some of that magic with you today, because our whole goal is to help you work smart and make a big impact. That's right, you heard it. Work smart and make a big impact. So if you were here last week, you know that one of the things we talked about are what we call lead magnets, or the things you can give away for free to attract people to you. And now we want to phase into was, where do they go? How do you collect their information? Because put this in your notes. For those of you who are making notes, information is key. Information is key. That's why we are actually giving out something for free, or a lead magnet, is to collect their information so we can better serve them. The more you know about your client, the more you know about your customer, the more you know about your tribe, the better you will be able to serve them. So now we want to look at, what do we set up to collect that information? And Greg has in store for us some key points and simple solutions that will make it easier for you to create these landing pages. So Greg, what are the first things, or what is one of the key things people should know or look at or think about when it comes to creating this page?
Well, one of the first things you got to understand is it's just a page. It's a specific kind of page that typically just doesn't have your navigation. And ultimately what you want is, you want for them to come on that page and make a decision. Is this something they're interested in? Yes or no? And not have anything else they can do but make that decision. And that's why they call them landing pages. Another term they used to call them of squeeze pages. I don't like that term squeeze, but the idea was to squeeze the information, out of them to get that contact information. But there's some solutions out there that make it easier than others. But at the end of the day, it's just a page. It's just one page on your website that you can use to collect that information, to get people to basically raise their hand and say, hey, I'm interested in this topic, this information, this particular thing right here, and I want to know more about it. So that's ultimately what a landing page is.
Right. The whole word with the squeeze page, because I remember that was a big term years ago, probably 10 years ago.
Yep.
It was like you're forcing them. You're like, I got to force this person to give me their information before anything else happens. Like, you better give me your name. You know what I mean? Like, and that's not, well, nothing about any of this is forced. You want people that want to work with you. If someone doesn't want to work with you, or if someone doesn't want to build a relationship with you in the marketplace, then you don't want them as part of your tribe. So ideally, the reason why you create such powerful lead magnets, or powerful things to offer that are valuable for free, is to attract the right people to you, because the whole thing is about attraction and relationship and conversion. So it's attracting the right people, building a relationship with the right people, and then having those people now decide to become a customer or a client long-term with you. So to do that, we have to be able to set up these pages to collect their information. And I know there are some specific tools that you've suggested that I use and you've been using for years that make this process real simple and easy for folks.
Yeah, man. There are a couple different solutions, and it really just depends on what you may already have and what you're willing to get. So I want to go through some of the ones that are inexpensive, but also really easy to use. Okay. So let me put up my list here.
Now catch that. He said number one, low expense and easy. Those are two magic words to my ears right
Two
there.
magic words.
Easy, easy to use, and it's
Yep.
a low investment.
Right.
Reducing
So
your expenses and reducing your labor.
that's right. So the first one I want to talk about here is called Thrive Themes. And Thrive Themes is they offer several different things. Some of them are themes, but basically what this is a WordPress plugin that you can use to create landing pages. And what makes this easy is that they already have most of the landing page templates built in. You can just pick and choose the one you want and then modify it. So the design is pretty much there. The layout is a professional layout. It's pretty much there, and you get the entire page. The buttons are there, and sometimes they have the actual thank you page as well. So they come in a little bit of set, so you can get a set of the actual landing page and then the thank you page as well. So this is a great way for someone who's just getting started to be able to quickly and easily build landing pages, and all they have to have is basically a WordPress website.
All right. So if I caught it all correctly, you're saying you're getting like a kit almost, right? You're having the templates already set up for the different things that you have to give the person, and all you're doing is kind of just like plug in, almost like a plug and play. It sounds like to me, right?
Yep. And what's really cool is you can basically use it on your existing website, so you don't have to create something new. You take just a page on your website, and you just hit the button, and then it takes that page and turns it into a Thrive page where you can then use the templates, select the template you want, update, and then at the last thing, only thing you have to do is connect it to your autoresponder for them to take that email name and email address and add it to the system that you're already using. So, and it connects to most all of them out there, Aweber, Active Campaign, Infusionsoft, Entreport, all of those different types of autoresponders and CRM systems it will natively connect to. So that makes it easy as well, because you just select it on the list. You don't have to deal with any code or figuring it out. And they have the instructions in video form right there in the plugin. So it's a really great system for those who really just need something that's professional looking, that doesn't cost a whole lot of money, and that will be easy to use.
Now, it just occurred to me that, Greg, some people may not know what CRM means. I think we have addressed that on some previous lives broadcasts, but just to recap for folks, CRM stands for what, for those who may not be aware?
Stands for Customer Relationship Manager. Basically, that's a system to manage and communicate with the people who are your customers or your prospects or leads who are interested in certain things. And so basically, once you capture that information, you can use that CRM system to follow up. You can also use it to deliver the thing that you promised. And so this is a way for you to do that using something called Thrive Leads.
So even though we're talking about today landing pages, there's going to be a prerequisite. You have to have a system already established that will allow you to communicate with people who now identify as wanting to be part of your group, your tribe, your network. So if you don't have that, that's something that you want to make sure you go out and get as well. So there's a whole bunch of things you can use. Greg listed a whole bunch of them a few minutes ago. And for those who are in our group, technologytuesday.com is where you want to go to join the group. So if you're not already a member, join the group, because we're going to be putting in the group a list of some of these resources that you can have after the broadcast is over. Now, it's sometimes difficult for us to be typing in the comments at the same time we're talking, but after this is over, we're going to go back and fill in the comments. Now, if you have a question as we're speaking now, this is a live, so we can see your questions and we see your comments. And if you make sure you just put something in the box, and it'll pop up on your screen, right? You'll be able to see it, Greg. What
Yep.
they say.
I'll let you know if any comments come through. So
yeah. So make sure. But if you're not part of the group already, I would definitely go to technologytuesday.com, because you can always get in contact with myself or Greg there and ask a question later. If maybe something comes up to your mind, like, oh, I wasn't thinking about this at the time. It's one of the best ways to get access to us, because you can just post a comment, post anything there, and we can get back to you, respond to you. So that it was Thrive themes, right? Thrive themes.
Yes, Thrive themes. And within Thrive themes, they do have actual WordPress themes, but they have something called Thrive leads as well. It's they both work best together, and when you get both of them together, you get all the templates as well as just the leads. So let me break this down. The leads are just something you can use that will you can add to your website that will add a form to a page. Okay. So let's say you already created your own page and you just need a way to add a form to it. You can use Thrive Leads to do that. If you use the Thrive themes, then you get all the templates for the pre-built landing pages that are already set up for you and ready to go. So for example, they have themes and templates ready if you want to do a webinar and get people to register for a webinar. They have themes and templates ready if you want to offer a free PDF download of a report or a book, right?
Uh,
So those are just a couple of the ones. They have all sorts of ones back there and all sorts of different styles. So if you are a male entrepreneur and you're in the health and fitness, they have templates ready for that. If you are a female entrepreneur and you're in the travel industry, they have templates for that. So everything you could possibly really imagine is back there and ready for you to just take that template, edit it just a little bit with your own content, connect it to your CRM, and you're good to go.
awesome, awesome. So that would be for a person that's on one level. I won't say entry level, but everybody has different stages in their business.
Yep.
So that one is simple, easy to set up, and a low barrier of entry for a person to use. So it's not going to require a lot from your budget, and the tech knowledge can be on a lower level. Now, is there other ones that you have that you've used that you say would like be on a higher level up or a mid level up?
I wouldn't say this one is on a higher level. It's just completely different. So
Okay,
this one here is it's something that we actually use on Technology Tuesday. So if you're completely into the whole social media aspect of it, we have something called 22 Social that will basically allow you to use your Facebook page as the landing page and turn that into a robust landing page where you can do all sorts of things. You can actually connect it to a group and you can keep it private. So only people who actually give you their name and email address will actually be able to see the page. So it puts like a gate in front of your page. And on that page, you can put specific content and you can put a request to join your group. So this is actually what we use. We use 22 Social, and this is something that you can use uh, on your Facebook page. And also it has what they call an SRM, a social relationship manager built right in. So if you don't have one and you only want to invest in one thing right now, you can get started right now with 22 Social. And again, that's what we use. You can see how it actually flows at technologytuesday.com. So you definitely want to check that out.
right, which will be a good example. If you want to actually see it in action, just go over to technologytuesday.com. You can see how that is set up, and um,
Exactly.
that one. I like how we had that one set up right now.
Yeah, that one also does a lot more. That's just one of the things it does. Um, it also does uh, contests. So if you wanted to run a social media contest, you could have that on there. And it does several other things. It is really a real powerful system that I think doesn't get a lot of the attention that it should.
Right.
Uh, but it's something you should definitely definitely check out and see if it's a tool you want to have as part of your toolbox.
So when you say social media contents, that's where um, you're having people compete to basically share your stuff or share things about you, and the person who shares the most wins a prize, right?
Yep, yep.
Yeah,
You can have a contest, and basically they share it. Right? It's a social media contest. So the way you get entered is by sharing the content, so other people can enter the contest. So it's a
right,
way to get that viral effect of using the connections from the people who you are already connected with to reach out to the connections you don't know to build your list in hopes of winning a prize. So if the
right.
prize is typically related to your business, or maybe you're giving away something free for your business, In my case, I could have a contest where I could ultimately say, hey, we're going to put a contest for a full blown website. It's a $4,200 value, and we're going to pick a winner 2 weeks from now, and do it like that. And then it'll also randomly select a winner for you too.
Right.
So it's a really powerful system, and that's just two of the things it can do. So I would definitely check out 22 Social.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to make sure that was clear for folks, because that's a way to have something, as you said, go viral, or to create a lot of referrals based off of like-minded people. Because ideally, if the person who's already attracted to your product or service, if you're a speaker, you're a coach, there's a certain audience that matches who you are in the marketplace. So if you're already attracting a certain person, there's a strong chance they know other people like themselves, because
Yep.
birds of a feather flock together. So
Yep.
by offering a contest, they're already interested in something that you have to offer. So by offering them something that they could win, a prize, it's recognition, reward, all that added up into it, and then you're tapping into other like-minded people that they know that you don't currently know. So
Yep.
it's a way to start to expand your reach at a much higher or faster rate.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome.
Exactly.
Awesome. So far, folks, recapping, we have two methods for you to create your landing page. One was Thrive Themes, and the other one was 22 Social. And is
That's
there a third? What was it? Did I say something wrong?
No.
Okay.
I do have one more.
Awesome.
Let me pull it up for you. This one is called Convert Pro. It is
Convert Pro.
also, yes, Convert Pro. You can find it at convertpro.net.
All right.
Okay. And basically, it is also a WordPress plugin that allows you to add boxes and subscription forms and pop-ups to get people to enter your list. So instead of you creating a whole page, this allows you to add the conversion elements to your website, right? So you can put this conversion box. Let's say you have a free checklist you want to give away for people to opt in. You can put it on your sidebar. You can also put it under your blog post. So like when you turn this on, it will show up on all of your blog posts. All you have to do is tell it, hey, add this to the blog post. It has a way for you to segment where, if you're talking about four different things on your website, and here's a little secret, Jerry, you should match the opt-in with the topic, right? So for example, if we're talking about social media, and
Right.
I have a social media resource guide that includes 22 Social and all these other cool things. Every time I'm talking about social media in a blog post, right, where social media is pretty much the topic, or anything related to social media, then I would want to have the social media opt-in, right, because it's related to the content. So then if we're talking about a CRM, a customer relationship manager, or automation, right? Let's say automation, that's easier. We're talking about automation, and then I have a PDF or a webinar, either or, that's based around teaching people automation. Then anytime I have a blog post that's talking about automation, I want to put the opt-in that's related to automation. So with the Convert Pro, you can set it up so that the correct opt-in goes with the particular blog post. And you basically do that by having the categories in your blog. So when you have categories in your blog, you can assign the specific opt-in to match the category.
Interesting. So,
I see your wheels turning, man.
so now, by having these opt-ins that match the topic, does that also, on the back end, the list is segmented? Is that what it's doing? It's segmenting the list as well?
Yes. Yep.
Got it. And so for those who may not know what that means, um, it's almost like you are filtering people out by interest points. So if people like ice cream, well, we know ice cream has multiple flavors. So you might have, okay, these are the people who like vanilla. These are the people who like chocolate. These are people who like strawberry. These are the people who like, Rocky. So you're having more information. Like, so it's just saying, instead of saying just ice cream, you're having people be categorized or flagged or segmented out based on other differences. So now you can even tailor and refine your message to that person's interests. So if you're talking about something general, you might lose some people's interest because they like to have something that's really um, tuned into them, like music, right? That'd be another example, like music. So music is a wide range. I like all different types of music, but there are certain types that I can just listen to regardless, and other types I gotta be in the mood for. So if
Right.
someone's like, "Hey, we're gonna do, you know, R&B," then I'm like, I might be more likely to tune into that, just saying, "Hey, we're going to do a regular pop station." So it's like, so the more you know about the person, the client, the better it is to serve them. So when Greg's talking about these different opt-ins and having it be segmented, it just allows you to tailor your message specifically to that person because different things are going to trigger them to take action.
Yep. And the reason why you want to consider this is because a lot of times, I'm gonna say sometimes we get lazy, and once you go through the work of creating an opt-in, creating your lead magnet, then you just want to use that for everything. But what
Right.
happens is that really hurts you on the conversion because you will, sometimes people won't opt in, or they won't go for it, and it's because it's not directly related, right? And so when the more times, more sometimes is better, but in this particular point, you want to get real specifically focused on that particular topic. So if someone's interested in, email marketing, then and you're writing about it or you're creating videos about it, the thing for them to raise their hand and want to work with you is to have something for free that helps them with that, and you offer that when you're talking about that thing. So if you're talking about something else and you offer it, there's a disconnect there because it's not directly related. So to help you get conversions and help you get more people on your list, ultimately more people on your list, if you do it right, means more money in your pocket, right?
Right.
So you want to make sure you do everything you can in the beginning to get people to build that list. And so you want to make the opt-in directly related to the content you're putting out.
And that's why when we started off today, we said information is key because the more information, the more knowledge you have, the more insights. Really, I would say it's probably a better word be insight. The more insight you have into the person, the better you can communicate with them, the better you can build the relationship with them. It's like knowing what a person is interested in, knowing their favorite color, knowing their flower, knowing the food. It's like if it's your birthday and I buy you a present, but it's not exactly what you're into, it's kind of like, oh, so the more you know about the person, the better relationship you can have with them because you can serve them at a higher level and
Yep.
communicate to what they need at that moment in time. And it also increases the attention or how they will pay attention to
Yep.
what you're doing or what you're saying or what you're providing. And that's the key. You want people to be able to pay attention, and people pay more attention when it's something they are truly interested in.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That is correct.
And
So
that's why you want to collect the data. Everything in our world today is about data. And the more of that information or data you know, the better business will be because it helps you when it comes to creating your products. It helps you when it comes to creating your service. You don't want to provide services or products that people don't want. So if you know
right.
what they're interested in, then you can now start to tailor what you're going to offer to match what it is that they're already interested in. Because ideally, at the end of this whole process, at the end of all the things that we're talking about, selling isn't what you think it is. It's really about buying. People buy what they want. But if you don't know what they want, you can't offer something for them to buy. So by knowing what they're interested in, you create stuff that they want, which makes selling more so less work because our whole focus is to reduce labor, making a big impact, but working smart to do it. So the strategies, it all starts from beginning with the end in mind. At some point, we want to have this person become a client. Excuse me. We want to have them become a client. So in order to do that, the only way we can work with each other is if I know what it is that you actually want or what you need. And then I could tailor what it is that I have to offer that matches up to a need or a pain or missing, something that's missing in your world. But if I don't know what you're interested in, I don't know what's missing, I don't know anything about you, then it's like we're not connecting. we're not connecting at all. So this is part of the process of expanding your reach. Expanding your reach all starts with you attracting the right people to you and then building the relationship. So your relationship building is all based off of how much information you know about them. And you cannot have that if you don't have two things we talked about today, which are the CRM, the customer relationship management. That's a system that you want to have, and also the page to collect their information, the landing page. And then, as Greg said, with Thrive themes, you not only get the landing page, but you get like a kit because you have a thank you page. All that stuff is built into it. So ultimately, when you think about the amount of work that goes into this process, you don't want to be thinking about how do I do it all myself. Or you want to be thinking about what could I leverage, what could I use to eliminate the labor. Because I know years ago, and I remember the internet first came about, and it was, people were like coding, 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 right? It was all these and different had to learn these different languages, HTML and Java, and all this, and that stuff for a lot of us who were around then, that those things started to create beliefs in our mind about how hard it was. So initially there was like a high wall, a barrier for people to get into this space because it was like you had to know all this stuff. And now, it's different. It's 2020 now. A lot of things have been made a lot easier, simpler, more so like Greg was talking about with plug and play. And by knowing these things, and some of us may not know that they're out there, but by knowing, because Greg's sharing with us today, knowing these things are out there, it puts you in a position where you can take action. So you can get back to the things that are really more important for your business.
Right.
So you want to be setting this stuff up to get to the things that you really want to do, which is serve those people. Like you're in business to, number one, create revenue, but also to help people. And the more people you can help is based on having the right tools set up in your business. So it frees you up and make things automatic and automated, and the processes will be a lot less stressful, and you can enjoy life as well as help people at the same time.
Yep. And one thing I want to add, man, is some people want to shy away from doing some of this themselves.
Right.
And I want to challenge you, because when it comes to putting these things together, there's going to be a phase where you're going to need to test. You're going to need to change. You need to test different things, and it's never. And I'm not going to say never. It's usually not a set it and forget it type of thing. You're going to have to tweak it, right? And you can always make it better. So if you're like, hey, we're only getting a 6% opt-in. Can we do something with it to make it an 8% opt-in, right? So you want to. And every time you want to go change it, it shouldn't have to cost you money, right? You should be able to just go in there and test it. And once you get it to a point, then you can, have someone else look at it or manage it. But in the beginning, you need to be able to get in there and do it yourself. So some of these resources and tools that I'm sharing allow you to do that. Another thing is when I'm sharing resources and tools, I'm typically sharing stuff that I've already tested and know work well together with the other things that I have yet to recommend or things I've already recommended. And that's a lot of overlap, that if you're not using the stuff that works together and you go out there on your own and just pick, because there's so many choices for CRMs and landing page builders, there's a high chance that you're going to run into the technology monster when one part is not going to work with the other part. So even here, this all started with the Facebook profile funnel, right? So we started talking about how to build this funnel on Facebook, and now we're talking about the landing pages, and now we're mentioning CRM. So all this stuff has to build on each other very quickly, and it can get complicated very quickly, but even more so if you don't have the right tools. So make sure you check out the stuff that we recommend. If you have any questions, feel free to hit us up in the group. I will be more than happy to let you know what recommendations I have for what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing comes back to knowing the tools, but also knowing the psychology behind the tools, and also having the tools be a team, right? If I don't think people think of technology and how technology is really teams. Like technology has to team up with each other.
Yeah.
And if things aren't compatible, then you don't have a winning environment. And the only way to build a winning environment is all the players have to be on the same page. They have to be able to work together to pass the ball from one to the other. And that sometimes for folks they don't know, they're not, it's almost, it's like, if I think it's Greg, when I think about it, it's like it's something that you don't know that you don't know,
Yep.
because no one really talked to us about, well, does this plug go in with, like, people don't think about how the stuff plugs in together. It's like, well, I heard this was great, I heard this is great, I heard this is great, but then it's like, well, that really doesn't work for my platform. And now you get something that's like you can't really use it the way you want to, and that's a major, what do you call it, the technology monster? I mean,
Yeah,
it's like
man.
a
Right.
headache. That's a major headache. In my mind, that's a major headache. That's like a migraine right there.
You'd be surprised. I mean, people run into this challenge whether they're just starting out or whether they've been in business for years, and because once you decide to use something, whatever that something is, for your
Right.
website, for your CRM, that something is never going to work on its own. It needs to work with other things, right? And so when you start to figure out what those other things are, if they don't work well, you're going to run into that technology monster challenge, and it's going to be frustrating. So, I've just, been lucky to have worked with so many different systems because I've been in this for so long and worked with so many different clients that I've seen the monster more
Oh,
times
no doubt.
than I care to admit. So I know, like, hey, that's not going to work with this other thing, or it's not going to work with that other thing, and save yourself a lot of stress and aggravation by using the stuff that works together.
Yeah, and I can totally relate. It sometimes you have to learn the hard. They say learn the hard way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because a lot of stuff, it looks good by itself. Like, oh, that tool looks great by itself. It's like, well, it's great, but it doesn't work with anything else that you already have. So it's not really a benefit. There's no real benefit to you to even have that tool, that subscription, that service, whatever it might be, because it's not compatible with all the other stuff. It's almost like when you look at sports and they get this player that was so dynamic, but when he comes to that team, it disrupts the flow and the function of that team. And it's like it was a bad choice by the general manager. And that's what we are. We are the general managers for our business,
For your business.
and
Yep.
we got to get the right tools in order to make our team successful to win the championship. So this is why we're here every week. Our whole goal every week is to help you give you the information to help you become a better, quote unquote, general manager, so your team can becomes a championship team, and you're not struggling trying to get this stuff to work. So we started off, as Greg said, a few weeks ago with the Facebook funnels, and last week we talked about the lead magnets, and now this week it's the landing pages. And as we keep going week after week after week, we're giving you pieces to help you build what we call the consistent cash flow machine. And that's what a lot of us want, especially with the way our world is shaping right now. It's, you want to be able to have an income stream that does not require a lot of manual labor on your part. So you can be making money and not always have to be there to ring the cash register. So if the cash register is consistent without you having to be there, then you're in a position where you can enjoy more time with your family. Or if you don't have a family, enjoy more time doing whatever what your hobby might be. Just enjoy life as a whole. When we're so involved in our business, sometimes the business drains you. The business sucks the life out of you, and it doesn't become as enjoyable. And it's like the reason why you got into the business, you lose sight of that, because actually working in the business and working on the business takes the joy out of why you even started the business. So for those of us who are speakers and coaches and authors, there was a reason why you wanted to do that. You wanted to share a message with the world. You wanted to help people. And sometimes this stuff, it takes you away from why you got started. So if you can have this stuff set up and have people on your team, and that's why one of the things we say when joining the group is it doesn't have to be you that does it all. One of the best things a general manager does is hire a great coach to work with the players on the team, because the general manager usually isn't the guy who knows everything about basketball. He just recognizes the talent. So if that's you, like, hey, I can speak, I can write, I can coach people, but I don't know how to get all these pieces working together. Well, that's why we're here. That's why we're here to help you with your sequences when it comes to the technology, when it comes to the sales, when it comes to developing content and things of that nature, to help you to build a better system, build this consistent cash flow machine. And Greg and I have been around long enough to be able to know what works, what doesn't work. We've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. More than like that's a whole nother, that's going to be like the behind the scenes, behind the music. Like, it's like, they ever make a movie about this, what I mean? It's like,
oh my gosh,
that guy with the voiceover that they always be like walking people through their careers. So folks, we're going to be here every week on Tuesday, 2:00, bringing you live information that's going to give you practical knowledge plus practical application to give you the practical solutions for your business. And Greg, I think that wraps it up for this week. I don't think we have anything else. Did you have anything else?
Nah, man, that's it. I just wanted to say, if you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and leave us a comment for any question or concern, or just shout out. Appreciate that. Want to say thanks for Reverend Shell for tuning in this week. And I look forward to talking to you guys next week, where we're going to break down the evergreen automated asset, because that's
baby. Can't wait for that. So awesome.
Yes,
so until next time, Technology Tuesday at 2:00. This is Jerry Franklin Poe, Greg Russell signing off. Be well, be safe, and God bless y'all.
Take care.